Okay, good morning to all of you. In our last class, we have been discussed acceleration in spherical polar coordinate system. Before that, we have been discussed velocity in spherical polar coordinate system. Before that, we have been discussed velocity and acceleration in cylindrical coordinate system. So in cylindrical coordinate system, velocity is this one, and acceleration in cylindrical coordinate system is this one. In case of spherical polar coordinate system, the velocity we found this much and acceleration we found this much. So here you can see that this is the radial component of acceleration. This is your theta component of acceleration. So only for that E theta cap, here E r cap, and this is your phi component of acceleration. Only for that E phi cap is there. So likewise, in case of velocity, this is your radial velocity, this is your theta component velocity, and this is your phi component velocity. Okay, as I told that today we are going to solve some questions which are asked in JAM belongs to this velocity and acceleration. Okay, so here you can see that this is your number 17, question number 17, 2022 1 mark question, JAM exam, and this one question number 36, 2 mark question, JAM 2022, and this one 2 mark question, JAM 2021, question number 30. Okay, these three questions are belongs to spherical polar coordinate system, acceleration and velocity based upon acceleration. Okay, so here you can see the consider a particle of mass A moving in a plane with a constant radial speed. Radial speed is constant, this r dot is constant, and a constant angular speed is theta dot, which is also constant. The acceleration of the particle in r theta coordinate is how much? These are the options. So which options will be correct? So for that we have to consider the acceleration in spherical polar coordinate system. So this is your acceleration belongs to spherical polar coordinate system. So here if we are going to consider the answers, here r theta are there, that means radial component and theta component accelerations are there. So that means this component not to be considered, only these two components we are going to be considered. This is the expression of acceleration in spherical polar coordinate system, but here it is asked that the particle is in the one plane where r theta is going to be varied. That means acceleration in r component, radial component and theta component is there where r dot and theta dot are constant. Okay, so here this is the acceleration expression. So E phi cap is not going to be considered because only we have to consider radial component and theta component, where theta dot r dot are constant. So if theta dot is constant, then d by dt of theta dot will be equal to 0. That means theta double dot will be 0. Likewise, if r dot is constant, then d by dt of r dot, that means r double dot will be 0. That means wherever theta double dot and r double dot we can get, we have to put 0 and 0. So in this expression, this term will be 0, right? Because here r double dot is there and phi dot we are not going to be considered. So this component is belongs to 0 because phi dot will be 0. So this component will be 0, this term will be 0, and here in this component, here theta double dot is there. So this term will be 0, and here phi dot is there. So this term will be 0. So we are going to get the answer is your minus r theta dot square plus 2 r dot theta dot. Here minus r theta dot square E r cap, that means radial component, and 2 r dot theta component. So what will the answer? Here you can see minus r theta dot square r cap minus r theta dot square r cap plus 2 r dot theta dot 2 r dot theta cap. So answer will be B. Okay, we have to move for the next question. Next question is your question number 36, belongs to 2022, this year only. So here the question is asked as, let r theta denote the polar coordinate system coordinates of a particle moving in a plane. If r cap and theta cap represent the corresponding unit vectors, then which one is the correct? So for this we have to consider the spherical polar coordinate system. In the spherical polar coordinate system, we know that er cap, here it is given that r cap and theta cap represented corresponding unit vectors. So in your note you can check, er cap we found this much, e theta cap we found this much. Okay, so these two unit vectors we have to consider here. So er cap here, as per the question, that is your r cap, radial component unit vector r cap we considered as er cap. So it is its value is I cap sin theta cos phi, j cap sin theta sin phi plus k cap cos theta, this much. Then e theta cap, which is your theta cap given in the question, that we found I cap cos theta cos phi, j cap cos theta sin phi minus k cap sin theta. So this much. Okay, now considering these two expressions, which one will be the correct in the answer? Here you can see that these all are belongs to either theta or phi. This one also, these all the terms either theta or phi. So obviously if we are going to consider the answer B, this has to be 0, because d r cap by dt will be 0, because r cap is the function of theta and phi. So the B answer will be not will not possible. Now we are going to check A answer, d r cap by d theta or d by d theta of r cap, that we are going to be considered. So d by d theta of r cap, here you can see that r cap is nothing but this one. If I will differentiate each term with respect to theta, then first one sin theta derivative cos theta, cos phi will be there. Then d by d theta of this one, it will be cos theta sin phi, and this will be minus sin theta k cap. Right, here you can see that dr cap by d theta is this much. If you are going to match this one with this theta cap, both are will be matched together. So here we found d by d theta of r cap is nothing but theta cap. So answer A will be correct. Then we have to consider d theta cap by d theta. So here d theta cap by d theta, if we are going to consider, that means this B is not to be possible, considering C answer d theta cap by d theta. That means differentiation of this expression with respect to theta. So here you can see cos theta will be minus sin theta, cos phi, j cap cos theta derivative will be minus sin theta sin phi, and here sin theta will be cos theta. So here take minus from all the terms outside, minus I cap this much sin theta cos phi, sin theta sin phi, k cap cos theta. So this is nothing but your r cap. Okay, so we can write minus r cap. So d by d theta of theta cap is your minus r cap. So C answer also acceptable or correct, you can say C answer also correct. Now we are going to check D answer, d theta cap by dr or d by dr of theta cap. So here you can see that d by dr of theta cap. So here theta cap not function of r. So if I will be consider d by dr of this term will be 0, d by dr of this term will be 0, d by dr of this term also will be 0. So here d by dr of theta cap has to be 0, but in answer it is r cap. So D answer not possible. So for this question, answer A and answer C are correct. Now we are going to go for the next question, that the radial component of angular acceleration in plane polar coordinates is given by Newton is what? Radial acceleration. It is asked the radial acceleration. Okay, in plane polar coordinates. So for this question, we have to consider acceleration in spherical polar coordinate system. So spherical in spherical polar coordinate system, this is the acceleration. This is your radial component, theta component, phi component. In the question, it is asked that we have to find out the radial component only. So radial component means this one. Okay, this is the radial component. But in 3D, this is the answer. But however, this is in the 2D case. Polar coordinates in plane polar coordinate means 2D case. 2D case means here phi dot square or phi dot will be 0. So this term will be not going to be considered. This term will be cancelled out. So another two terms are r double dot minus r theta dot square. Okay. So this r double dot can be written as d square by dt square of theta minus r. This theta dot can be written as d by dt of theta whole square, right? So this is d square by dt square theta, nothing but theta, sorry, r d square by dt square r, that means r double dot, and minus r theta dot is nothing but d by dt of theta and its whole square. So this will be the answer. So if I will be match this one with all the answer, here you can see d square r by dt square minus r d by dt of theta square. So this will be the answer. Answer will be the B. Okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. So I hope this type of question, if asked somewhere, you can attempt. Thank you so much.